Answer 1.
For a number of reasons. Often I think because they are exhausted. Capital cities in particular can be very demanding places to live. The noise, the traffic, the cost of living. And people often grow tired of all that. It's just too over the top for some. They start to feel drawn to the peace and quiet that rural life might be able to give them. Generally speaking, though, I do think that it's the case that younger people, people like me, are more drawn to that vibrant city lifestyle. As soon as you get older and have a family, you start thinking it's time to move.
Answer 2.
Well, one possibility that I can foresee is that buildings will keep getting taller and taller. This has been going on for some time, all over the world, and so many people now are moving to the city. Unless this changes, we're going to need more and more homes for everyone. We might even see a 500-story skyscraper one day. That might sound ridiculous now, but cities are likely to keep expanding at the rate they are currently. So there will be no other option that I can think of.
Answer 3.
Oh, I think that would be a bit of a disaster, to be honest. Insisting that everyone uses public transport could create more problems than currently exist. Fine, if you were just visiting the city, it probably wouldn't bother you too much. But if you were a resident there, then again, the streets would be safer for pedestrians, and it might do something about the levels of pollution. I do think it is bound to happen, to be honest, so as long as people are happy to use buses and bikes instead of their cars, life will continue as normal.
Answer 4.
I can understand why people want a huge, old-fashioned house. In a similar way to living in the middle of the bright lights of the big city, there's something quite romantic about it. Having said that, I do think it depends on your age. Most people of my age, for example, prefer the idea of coming home to a smart, modern apartment every day, high up in the sky, overlooking the city. Well, it just sounds amazing. Providing I make enough money, I'll definitely be on a top floor myself one day.
Answer 5.
Well, in the old days, your whole life was in one place. You married someone from the same town, you had a job in the same village, and your family stayed around you. In some places, life is still like that. People only need to go next door or downstairs to see their parents, for example. But after people were given the opportunity to move around from one town to another, on trains or even aeroplanes, the traditional family unit started to change, I think, and people are now much more spread out. Not just nationally, but internationally. By the time I'm a grandparent, I think it will be even more different.
A.
As long as people are happy to use buses and bikes instead of their cars, life will continue as normal.
B.
By the time I'm a grandparent, I think it will be even more different.
C.
Providing I make enough money, I'll definitely be on a top floor myself one day.
D.
As soon as you get older and have a family, you start thinking it's time to move.
E.
Unless this changes, we're going to need more and more homes for everyone.
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me. This is my first week here, and I'd like to find out about any societies that could be good for me.
Of course. Well, we have literally hundreds of SOCs here. A SOC is often what we call societies. What sort of thing are you interested in joining?
I'm really into health and fitness.
Oh, there are a number of SOCs that might suit you. Let's start with the ones closest to where we're standing now. A12, that's where you'll find the vegetarian SOC, which is run by Paul, and 2 rooms along, you'll be able to find Peter, who's in charge of the vegan SOC. So that's in A14. Peter and Paul are actually brothers. Both of them are really nice.
I don't think either of those socks are for me. I like meat too much, I'm afraid.
Maybe the healthy eating SOC then? If you go down the corridor and past the library, then you'll come to room C16, where you'll find Catherine, who can fill you in about their events and activities.
Thanks, I may well do that. But you mentioned fitness. That's more like the kind of thing I'm looking for. What about societies for doing some sort of cardiovascular exercise?
All of the main types of exercise are covered here. What exactly are you looking for? Cycling, rowing, swimming?
None of those are really my kind of thing. I'm more of a runner.
In that case, definitely head for the gym. Go through the main building, and on your way, you'll probably see the push and pull SOC. But if I were you, I'd steer clear of that. The people in it are all a bit weird. So carry on past them, and you'll find Sarah, who runs the hot air SOC.
Sounds intriguing. What do they do? Organize races and running events?
They do, yes, and other sports as well, like rowing in the inter-university boat races. That's a lot of fun. The whole university turns out to support them. But if it's only running that you want to do, go and see the road running SOC out in the car park. The person running their stall today is Siobhan. I'll spell that for you. It's an old Irish name. Siobhan.
Never heard that one before. Great. Well, that should keep me busy. Lots of interesting stands to visit.
Yes, there's so much to choose from.
Oh, hello. Is that the healthy eating sock?
Yes, it is. Catherine speaking. How can I help?
I was given one of your leaflets and am interested in joining. I know you go out for dinner twice a week, but what else do you do?
Well, we don't do anything on Sundays, Mondays, or Tuesdays, but every Wednesday is our first restaurant visit of each week. It's not always the same place. Sometimes we'll go to the Red Tomato, other times we go to Herbs and Flowers, but it's always somewhere that serves vegetarian food. We meet at 7:30 on the high street.
Sounds good. What about Thursdays?
Well, on Thursdays, we usually go off to my aunt's house. She lends us her kitchen and we all prepare a meal together, a big curry or something. There's a limit of 12 people, so you need to put your name down. We get there for 8 o'clock. She lives in Wensford, so you'll need money for the bus fare.
Wensford? That's funny. It's like, when's the food?
No, it's spelt Wednesford. It's a village a few miles out of town. Anyway, Friday is our other restaurant evening, not vegetarian this time. We usually meet around 6 o'clock in a juice bar, and once everyone has arrived, we'll head off to a fantastic restaurant in town that serves European food. We always sit down to eat at 7.
And that's in town, is it?
It's right in the centre. So you get the bus to Central Square, which is where the juice bar is. It's right next to the little theatre. The restaurant we go to is round the corner in the covered market. It's opposite the cinema.
Okay, I think I've got that. And do you do anything over the weekend?
Not a lot. It gets busy in town on a Saturday night, so the only thing we do is meet at midday for what we call coffee club, just in the canteen in the Students' Union. They do good pastries.
Well, it all sounds lots of fun. How much does it cost to join?
It depends. If you go to all of the activities every week, believe me, I know, it can cost you around £40 or more. I originally thought about charging people something like £5 per week as a membership fee, but it takes so much time to collect that it's not worth it. So it's actually free to be a member.
£40 is a bit above my budget.
Oh, don't worry. You don't have to come to everything, and you don't have to come every week. It's entirely up to you.
How long do you usually take to have dinner?
We're usually in a restaurant for 2 hours having dinner, so the whole evening lasts about 3 hours, if you include the drink in the juice bar beforehand.
And what about the service charge at the end of a meal? Do people in this country usually give something extra for the waiters?
In general, people often leave a tip of about 12 to 15% of the total bill. On the other hand, if the service or the food has been bad, they may leave nothing. We always try to make sure we give our waiters 10%. We'd like to give them 15 or 20%, but we're not very rich. We're only students after all.
So, how do I book a place on these trips? Shall I give you a call?
No, I don't always answer my phone. Some of our members send me a text message, which is fine, but I get so many that I might forget yours. The most reliable way to contact me is to send an email.
Great. So, is there anything else I need to know?
No, I don't think so. Oh, there is one more thing. It's really important.
What's that?
Well, a lot of the people have very strong opinions about which is the best restaurant in town, which is the best national dish, which country has the best cooks. All of those things are fine, but if you want to fit in with the group, try to avoid talking about celebrity chefs. That's when the arguments really start.